This time I got a Sony VHS VCR, bad picture, lines in the picture, poor tracking basically. And this one is, I thought at first it would just miss a line, but it actually isn't. It's a mechanical problem that we discovered once I did an inspection. Let's check this one out. Got a Sony VCR, and this one's, what is this? This is an SLVN71. Complaint on it is the picture's not very good. Let's see what it does. It says lines in the picture. And we do indeed have a line in the picture. That looks like an alignment problem to me. Let's get the top off this one and see what's going on with it. Alright, here's the machine apart. Everything looks like it's going into proper position, and yet it's not playing. Oh, that guide is loose. That's why. How loose that guide is. See, now it's tracking better. It started tracking up better on its own. I haven't touched anything other than I wiggled the guide a bit. And now it's not perfect, but it's certainly looking better after just doing that. I mean, that guide is loose. There's no question that guide is loose. So maybe there's something that's stuck in there. Let's just get this out of here and see if there's anything in there. Alright. Sometimes you get bits of dirt and debris that can get stuck and underneath the guide here. Let's just see if we can pull anything out of there. Oh. Yeah. Just as I suspected. Some dirt or debris got in and it got hooked onto the guide and got pushed in there, and that was preventing the guide from going all the way in. Let's take a look at the alignment now, see if it's any better or whether it's still bad. That's what I suspect happened on that tape, on that camera, that the alignment was out. Okay, it's better now. Well, it's not perfect, but it's I think I can probably tweak that. It's not loose like before. It's tight now. Take a look at the picture. Still a little bit off. I'm going to just throw the scope on it. We'll take a look at the alignment. It might need a little bit of a tweaking. It's still a bit off at the bottom of the screen, but it's a lot better than it was when I started on this. So we connect our scope probes, RF trigger, to the test point that's in the back. And yes, the RF is a little bit down. We're going to fix that on the scope. I'm going to adjust the P. I think the P2 guide is okay. This one's okay. The waveform's flat. It's just a little bit down on the exit side over here. I'll show you the scope, and I'm going to adjust that angle post, or the guide post, with a tweaker, that tool, because it fits onto the guide quite nicely and allows me to tweak it. And I'll show you guys what's going on the screen, or on the scope, and then we'll show you the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so back to that P3 guide. I'm going to turn it counterclockwise a bit. Nope, going the wrong way. Clockwise. There we go. There. One head's a little lower than the other. This is A head, B head, A head, or vice versa. But we got a little dip there on the entrance side. That could be just some dirt on the drum, in the lower drum. I don't think it's an alignment problem. I'll try the guide and see whether it changes. No, I think that's some dirt. Let's just take a look. I'll give the lower drum a clean. Q-tip. Going to clean around the lower groove here on the lower drum. This is where debris gets stuck. right in that groove there. It might be influenced from the plasma too. Let's just turn it off. Let's see if it goes away. Nope. It is dipping there just a bit. I didn't see any dirt. Usually that's the indication that there's a bit of dirt on the lower drum, or possibly on one of the guides. Could be on the angle post as well. Something that's causing the tape just not to go around the drum exactly true, and there's a bit of a gap. Make sure my tape's not damaged. So the tape's looking good. I mean, the picture's fine. Just that the waveform's a bit down on the scope, right at that point. Be right in about where that, right about there. I can see when I put my hand there, I can see it on the scope. It's like right where the tape gets into that little groove there. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Picture's looking good. Picture's looking fine. Oops. Guides aren't loose anymore. Okay, I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. So a bit of debris somehow got into the track. Was stuck under here, in behind here, and that was doing is that was preventing the guide. You'll notice on the guide there's a little protrusion at the back here, and this little protrusion actually goes in and slides underneath the V blocker, the V stopper here, and locks in place. So with that little bit of, it felt like plastic that was stuck in there. It was preventing the guide from going all the way in place. That was allowing the guide to move. Like that holds it tight, but that guide before was loose. So keep that in mind. Especially with these cheap cassettes, there's a lot of these cheap cassettes, they break. Little pieces of plastic break off these thin cassettes and get jammed. And I'm pretty sure that that camera that made that recording of that wedding that came in to be transferred over, that's probably what happened in that case on that camera. Is a bit of dirt or debris fell into the mechanism and got stuck and prevented the guide from completely going into locking into its guide stopper block. That was why Beta was so much better. We didn't have movable guides. On Beta, the guides were fixed. They didn't move. The tape was wrapped around them. That was one of the strengths of Beta, was you didn't have these movable guides. Of course, when they started making the smaller chassis for Beta Movie and even the Beta cams, that they went to the sub-compact drum, they ended up going to an M-type loading on those, just because that they had to go to a smaller drum, to go to a what they call a 90 degree, actually it's a 270 degree drum, but the offset's 90 degrees, so the tape is wrapped around more of the drum, and your head number one goes all the way around to like here, and then the next head is 90 degrees ahead, and that's the B head that continues it. That way they can make the drum smaller. They did it for VHS-C, and they did it for some of the compact 8mm cameras, the TR series. They went to a sub-compact drum, and they did it on some of the Betacam decks just to make the drum smaller. They did it with Beta Movie too, but they did it even different on Beta Movie. They went to a single head, a single dual azimuth head, and ramp the tape about 358 degrees, something like that. And they had to do time compression on the video signal because there was a gap between one head and the other where there was no head in contact with the tape. So they had to delay the signals and do time compression to write the one field in the amount of time that the head could make almost a full revolution. So they sped up the horizontal on Betamovie. That's why they couldn't play back. They sped up the horizontal timing on Betamovie so that they could write it with a much smaller head drum and make it compatible on playback, which was pretty cool. Anyway, this one's working. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.